What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Jacked Ramsays post-game roasting. I'm glad I didn't grab anybody else's post-game show because having somebody else without paying them obscene amount of money seems rude and criminal. Portland Trailblazers fall in an absurdly lopsided game. And Coach Billups' press game comments already are good. That's kind of what you expect in the situation. You hope that he throws literally everyone who played on the bus tonight. Just a haphazard shit show of a game. I don't know. It just. We getting the echo? Let me try this, guys. That should fix it. I'll let it catch back up. It does that when it goes to the solo. Yeah, I'm aware, guys. That should get rid of it. Hey, guys, look at it. I know the echo's there. Let's try that again. Welcome to the Jacked Ramsays postgame show. I am your host, Danny Marang. And that was a disaster. And I guess the question you have to ask now is that the low point? Because if it gets worse than this, man. Andrew, can we cuss here? Listen, just keep it to a minimum. It's kind of my thing. I mean, even I lose my shit, so. I don't want to do this where it's like me going, see, I told you, because that's not what this is, but the vibes of this team sucked so hard coming into the season. It was just awful. And it was like, oh, no. It's fine. And no, it's not. It's not fine. It's not okay. I've seen a lot of they look like a lottery team. They don't look like a playoff team. No, here's the thing. They have enough talent to beat anybody in the league, so they actually aren't going to bottom out. It's toxic. That's what this is. It's toxic as hell. And you see this almost always with teams in these kind of situations that have run their course. It's going to bridge out. Even the best teams in NBA history, run their course. Granted, it's all going to be slanted towards pro Michael Jordan propaganda. Go watch that Last Dance with Michael Jordan. They were winning at a level unprecedented. And still guys want theirs. So if you're not winning and you're still together and you've got personal motivations like contracts, and again, here's the thing. I don't get mad about guys in contract years. Something you have to deal with, something you have to work around. But it's probably suboptimal to have a bunch of guys at different positions in contract years at the same time. Just saying. Let's do a quick breakdown of the game, and then we'll move past the game. The first quarter was 38-23 Boston, but that doesn't even tell the story of how awful the Portland Trailblazers were. The Celtics, I believe, hit 12 of their first 13 shots, put them up by 17 in under 9 minutes of play. It was a shit show of epic proportions in under 10 minutes. Listen, if you're going to be successfully sucking, that's how you do it. We had John Corrales on pregame, and him and I were talking before we went on air. I was like, listen, man, I know Boston's struggling shooting. If they're willing to work even this much, just a smidgen for their shots, they will get whatever they want. Turns out they didn't even have to work for him to start the game. They just walked into shot after shot after shot. Portland was just miserable getting back in transition. Jason Tatum, who over his last 5 games coming into tonight was averaging 38 and 4, shooting, was it 57, 62, 87. Just otherworldly good. But everybody else hit too. That was the terrifying thing, is everybody else hit too. The Celtics end up hitting 21 threes, shoot 57%, which means they actually, I saw somebody from the Celtics say that had Peyton not missed those last couple, they would have set the record for most made and highest percentage. So it was really bad. They ended up shooting 57% from 3 and 21 to 37, 56% from the floor, and 89.7% from the free throw line. Thoroughly beating the ever-living hell out of the Blazers on every single level. CJ McCollum, 8 of 21. His first quarter was some of the worst basketball I've ever seen him play. Dennis Smith Jr. tried to do some things. Decision-making was a little weird. Nurk was really good scoring, and then he was awful everywhere else. Powell gave a damn, but appeared his mask was really bothering him. Cove tried to actually get some things done tonight. Nance cared. Nance always cared. Or Nance always cares. Outside of that, man, yeah, Miguel Zamora. No OKC to take a spotlight off us tonight. No, everybody's talking about it. You're gonna have this. You're gonna have a spotlight on you anyways because Neil Olshey was fired. So, Eric Fennell says CJ was letting people into the lane all night. Yeah, no, this is a really, really, really bad CJ night, like cosmically bad. Let's go through real quick. Shout out Sean Hyken, who's got all of the quotes from Chauncey here. I was reading them as we were getting ready to launch the show. First of all, lack of pride, of course, that bothers me. If that doesn't bother you, there's something going on. Sometimes it's not your night. Cool, it happens. And listen, I'm with Chauncey here. There's 82 games, man. It is a difficult thing mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever the hell it is we want to talk about, to bring it for 82. Even the best teams, you're going to have a couple of those where you don't have it. But tonight, Jesus. There's a way I'm willing to lose, and that's not the way I'm willing to lose. It was embarrassing. And I saw somebody screenshot basically all of Portland media saying embarrassing, so in some form or another, up and down on Twitter tonight, all at the same time. I think it was Richmond, Quick, Hyken, myself, and somebody else, like all at the same time within like 30 seconds of each other. Cody Franklin, Downer Danny has been officially been vindicated. I don't like that. Like, I know I've got this like stigma, this persona or whatever, and I want to call out the stuff that I see. I don't enjoy it. God, I've got something in my eye. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it at all. Like, I want this team to be good so bleeping bad. I don't think people really understand. And I don't think this is the worst yet. There's still an opportunity for a blow up. That's the thing, is the blow up hasn't happened. That's the thing. It's interesting. Chauncey followed up with competitive fire and pride. That's something you either have or you don't have. That's something you can't turn off and turn on. Let's see. The young guys, they don't know the politics of the league, but it's something the vets should be teaching them. I was more mad at the starters for putting them in that situation. And real quick, I saw some people saying that our comments about being embarrassing were directed at a young guy. No, I was not mad at Trendon Watford. I was not mad at Greg Brown Jr. or Greg Brown III. I was not mad at any of the kids, at Ellaby. I was mad at the vets for putting them in that situation, for putting them in a position to know that you can't tolerate that shit. The vets shouldn't be out there having to do that, because the veterans should have set the tone already before they left the court. That clowning stuff, man, I'm not mad at the Celtics. The Blazers should have stopped that shit real quick. But nobody gave a damn. This is what I keep talking about, the empty box score stuff. Doesn't matter. It'll come back to bite you in the end. Like, Larry Nance Jr. left a Cavs team that wasn't projected to be that good because he wanted to come chase a playoff spot and be like playing meaningful basketball. He's looking at guys out there, chewing them out like, do you give a damn? Lamar and KC tonight, like in the final 30 seconds, were just belligerently railing on the team, and they were absolutely right. I saw somebody like send Calabro into the locker room to chew their asses. Yeah. It is bad. This is not what this team is supposed to be. That's why there's so much frustration. That's why there's so much consternation. This isn't a crappy team. For anybody who's ever heard me talk about this team, I've never said that this team was bad or that they were awful or they weren't going to be at least good. Instead, they made a funky Celtics team look like the best Celtics team of all time. The Blazers just gave up the second most points they've ever given up at home in regulation. The most points they've ever given up to the Celtics. It was something. Hyken has this thought, and this is something him and I have kicked around a ton over the last couple months. This Blazers team has a very 2015-16 Bulls feel to me, and for those of you who don't know, Hyken covered the Bulls when he was out there at that point in time. Management thought changing the coach alone, that was the Hoiberg changeover, would fix everything, but in reality, this group has just been together a couple years too long. It's grown toxic. Yes. And this is... This is literally what I said 4 years ago about the Dame CJ backcourt. I'm like, if you want to try it for a couple years, cool. I don't think it's going to work, but if not, you gotta branch off. You gotta go chase something else, right? You gotta figure something else out because that's just not going to work. It's not good enough. And now, man, I never thought I would. I guess it's not technically not really a Dame team with Dame out. But there's no leadership. You're paying CJ McCollum to be a number two, to be a guy who picks up the slack. Nope. I mean, just, wow. Kanter went in there and did Kanter things. Freedom. Freedom was a plus 29 for all of the can't play Kanter stuff. You know what does play? Freedom. Freedom plays, ladies and gentlemen. 9 and 15 plus 29 in 22 minutes. Interestingly enough, in 20 minutes, 6 of 9 from Jusuf Nurkic, 18 and 5 and a minus 15. Again, the Blazers shot 47% from the field. They couldn't hit a three to save their life. Not really shocking, considering that they're probably two best explosive three-point shooters outside of CJ McCollum, who struggled tonight, and Ant and Dame didn't play. But Eric, Danny, do you have any intel on why CJ went to the locker room? I thought he got hit in the ribs. I haven't heard anything. I haven't checked my. Well, I'll do it live. I'll see if there's anything. Just a lot of questions on the. Okay. Yeah, nothing on that. So yet, well, let me check and see if there's a press release. I didn't see anything yet. Injuries, nothing new. So haven't seen anything about CJ yet. I don't know, y'all. This is a bad place. This is the dark place. There's no doubt about it. O'Connor says Dame is checked out. I don't blame him. I don't know if Dame is checked out. If you want me, hold on. It's been a while. Let me painfully scorn my skin. Oh, here we go. Tinfoil hat time. I don't think Dame is checked out. I think Dame just won maybe a bit of a power struggle. And now they're evaluating what the next steps are. So, there you go. Chauncey said CJ was hurt, his ribs are hurt. He's getting an X-ray. So, but yeah, we'll go tinfoil hat and go. That's what I'm going for. Is Dame won the power struggle, and now let's go ahead and figure out what the next steps are. Oh yeah, y'all didn't know I had a tinfoil snapback? Don't get it twisted. That's right. Haven't used it in a little while. The dog, I think, has tried to chew on it a little bit. It just sits on the side. It's actually quite painful too. Like cuts into my skin. Always keep the tinfoil hat on. No, I just keep it by me because, well, I mean, it is what it is. It's what happens next. So, following up on the Neil Olshey dismissal and the summarily yeet, do they hire somebody else or not? And talking to somebody tonight, one person is not convinced, but had a thought that Joe Cronin could ride out the year. And he pointed out this simple thing. An interim GM once accomplished quite a bit for this Portland team. Doing the legwork for Damian Lillard, possibly trading a draft pick that turned into Damian Lillard. Or excuse me, trading a player for a draft pick that turned into Damian Lillard. One Chad Buchanan was an interim GM that got a lot done. Joe Cronin's been in the game for 16 years. He's not an idiot. And yes, Matt Hartman, the tinfoil hat does constitute legal protection for exceedingly hot takes. That's kind of the point. I can go a little bit weird, a little bit wild when I go with the tinfoil hat. But what if Cronin is the guy? What if they ride him out for the end of the year? So, without getting into too much, I don't believe Tayshaun's going to be the guy, and I don't think it has anything to do with Tayshaun. I think it's some other underlying stuff there that Tayshaun has to take care of. But I understand why like his name pops up in that regard. It's like, oh, okay, cool. That makes sense. The other thought was, excuse me, I'm trying to remember all the names. Eversley would require perhaps too much compensation, and the other one was Scott Perry. He's probably just going to try to leverage it into more money from the Knicks. So it is kind of crazy. You could say that somebody said that I think Lamar said that Cronin should get the shot. Listen, within the organization, Joe's well liked. I've never heard anything bad about him. He's been with the team forever. So if they think he can do it, cool. I've always been told in the past that he likes kind of just working in the background though. So, well, maybe I've got bad intel. But it is kind of what it is. But here's the thing. If Joe comes in and they pick him to be the guy, then cool. I don't care. Get the damn trade done. Listen, Joe comes in just swinging. Cool. I'll put my hands up and be like, hey, big homie, go for it. Mike asks, would Eversley be your pick? From what I have heard, who I have talked to, yes, Eversley would be my pick. Because it kind of walks the line of Ainge, who's going to want full control, a truckload of money. And he's probably going to want to tear it down to the studs. We talked about that in the pregame with John Corrales, who does Locked On Celtics. Eversley, while not being a number one all-time GM as far as like being the number one guy, he's been a number two, which is, while a different job, does give him some background. He's got great player relationships. It's one of those situations where you can just kind of go down the line. Brent Barry, been working around the Spurs, doing a lot of different things. Like, I'm not against it, but of all of the non-previous like full-time GM guys, I think he has the straightest path to the job. Everybody keeps saying Ainge. I don't think Ainge is going to take it. I don't think I want Ainge just because I think he wants to tear it down. So, anybody who trades CJ has my vote. Yeah. It's just, it's becoming clear. Like somebody may need to be traded just to. You never want to do this. I say never, with a caveat of like, I'm about to say this. You never want to trade somebody just to trade somebody to make a change, but by God, they need a change. They need a change in that locker room now. They need to bring in an asshole. Like, Nance is one, but I think they need another one. They need something with some edge. I don't know, man. I'm going to have to go through and dig through and find somebody somewhere who has got that ability to just be that dude. Striker asks, how many more games until Larry starts? Yeah. I think after tonight, I think the starting lineup is going to have to change when Dame comes back. I think that's kind of the way this is going to have to go. You can't overreact to one game. But the problem is that these games have been there all along. Eduardo says Smart is in Marcus Smart. I've had a lot of people who have suggested that, but it doesn't quite work money-wise, nor does it work parts-wise. Also, Jesse Diaz says, I summoned Patrick Beverley, and I swear to God, if any of you ever somehow mentions Patrick Beverley on a team that I root for, I will end you. I don't think there's a man on this earth that I enjoy playing basketball less than Patrick Beverley. And that includes Carmelo Anthony. There's a redeeming quality in Carmelo. There is none in Patrick Beverley. Leslie asks, why do we keep trying 3 guards when Dame is out? Because they don't have forwards. That's why. They tried to play Tony Snell over the last couple games, and the Tony Snell experiment did not work, which is why Snell only got 10 minutes tonight. It's just not. It's not viable. It's not viable. Real quick, I wanted to hit on this, and again, not to toot my own horn, but more of like a overall underlying theme for the Portland Trailblazers. The 2 people that have been criticized are called the worst defenders on this team, and Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons, and I've not played the last 2 games. What's happened to the Blazers defense? Just real quick. Okay. Can we stop with if just Dame played, or if just Ant was a better defender? There's nobody on this team really that's a consistently good defender, and this whole thing about Nurk being this great defender. He's just big. He's had some moments where he has cared and been very good. He's also had some moments where he has been very bad. But that's kind of this team in a nutshell. The most consistent effort guy on this team was probably Nas and Norm, defensively. Ant probably falls next. Nance, I forgot to have him in there. And then Zeller. After that, that's it. Those are your effort guys defensively. As far as like guys that I consistently go, yeah, they're doing it. They're always doing it. Joey asks, could you see this team not making a move? Yes, I could. I could see them very easily saying, oh, we fired Neil. We'll figure it out in the summer. That's the terrifying. That's the oh shit scenario, because I think if that happens, I think if they don't move Damian Lillard, Freudian slip, if they don't move CJ McCollum by the deadline, Damian Lillard is gone. This sucks because they don't have the leverage now. They don't have any leverage now. Every team knows they have to make a change. This is why they had to move C.J. McCollum this summer. Bryce says the very bad moments for Nurk are kind of behind him. It appears like he's playing before. No, he's not playing like before his injury. He's not nearly that impactful. It's just that he's so much better than the other guys that are awful. And he's the only guy who has like legitimate size on the team. That's why. It's It's just such a terrible place. Jacob Phillips, you think we wait until the deadline? I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know enough about Joe Cronin, like other than like what I've been told. Not a ton of intel out there on guys who are like second, third, fourth chairs, particularly on teams where you don't have. There's a clear number one when Neil was here, right? Like in Chicago, Eversley is known as a very solid number two, but him and AK work very well together. Overall, yes, this team needs something now. They may have blown past the players only meeting. I think that's the case. I think they might have gone past it. I think they had an opportunity a couple weeks ago to kind of do it. We're going to go past the players only meeting to a locker room fight. Like, you're going to get some like Festus and CJ type stuff here. So, I don't know. I mean, like, everybody talks about, well, there's real accountability now. Chauncey's calling them out. How many games now have they called them out for? How many games have they called them out? How impactful has it been? It sucks, man. It sucks. Remember, they were going to have all these home games. They were going to win all these games, and things were going to go well. And listen, I am not like I'm in a weird place personally right now because anybody who knows me outside the Blazers stuff, like I'm a huge USC fan, right? And the second they fired Clay Helton this year, I was like, boop, cool. Anything you do the rest of the season is gravy. Don't care. Watched a couple games here. Went sideways. Nope. Turning this shit off. With the Blazers, you've got a guy in his prime. You've got this is like if USC had like, you know, Reggie Bush and that defense. Like, let's say the 04 team just had a dog shit coach, and you're just like, oh my god, they're wasting so much talent. Is a good year. If only they could get a transfer portal guy, they could make some noise. But instead, it never was the coach, and it was always about the talent. So you made a bunch of moves, but you didn't get the guys in that you needed to kind of get it done, and you put yourself in a stupid spot. Can the defense actually improve? Yes. Yes. The defense, the second most points they've ever given up at home in a regulation game. Yes. The defense can improve. And I don't think the season's over. I don't. That's what I'm saying is when I look at USC, I just tuned out because you knew that it was going to take a long time to kind of build things back up and figure it all out. Firing Neil gave me a lot of hope and still gives me a lot of hope. Like, I came in tonight going, it's not going to fix everything. I feel better about like the overarching, yes, Mike, JT Daniels, you monster. Transfer portal legend JT Daniels. But I came into tonight's game and really with a different mindset, a paradigm shift of, all right, Neil's gone. Let's take away from the 10,000 foot view, get back up to 30,000 foot. What does it look like? Unless he says make a few trades and get a good draft pick. You can't do that now. You can't do that. They've passed that point. That needed to happen 2 or 3 years ago. If they were going to tank, they needed to tank. Like they're past that point. Bob says dump the coach, get a real coach. Again, I don't think it's coach. This whole thing of like it's the coach. If it's this coach, why was it the last coach too? If it gets to the third coach and it's the coach again, do you think maybe then you'll get it? It's not the coach. Flat out firing Neil's number one move. That's a good start. Yes, it is. But the thing is, there's a tremendous amount of work to be done. It's just a lot. I don't know. What are you guys thinking? What are you feeling? Let me know. I'll edit some of this stuff out in the podcast, just because I know listening to me wait for you guys. I think it's probably the same. It's CJ, Nurk, it's Cov. Is Rocco better with the mask or without? I started having that conversation. Norm was clearly fighting the mask tonight. The fact that he went out there and played. Norm's kind of one of the bright spots this year, outside of obviously Ant and Nas. Norm going out there tonight after breaking his nose in practice just kind of shows you what kind of dude he is. He's a dude. I love that about him. Brady, what's your opinion, Danny, on Simmons and his personality to the current vibe of this team? I do believe a new situation can fix a lot. Sometimes two negatives can make a positive. And you're moving out some stuff in CJ and Nurk and Cov, and you get in Simmons and another forward and another big. Like, you do a massive overhaul. If things are still sideways, guess what you still have? You still have Damian Lillard, and you can ask him if he wants to move on then. That's how I look at it. Roll the dice, let Cronin make the move. Listen, if they're willing to let him make the moves, I'm cool with it. Hands off. If he's going to trade CJ McCollum, let him trade him. I don't care. I don't care. I have reached the point of I don't care, make a bloody move. There's just no reason to do it otherwise. So, I'll tell you what, I'm going to shut it off here just because we're going to have a ton more time tomorrow for the mailbag pod, and I want to make sure Brandon's in on this without getting a bunch of other stuff kind of, tossed aside. So do me a favor. I'm going to put the tweet up here in like 2 seconds. In fact, you know what? I will put it up right now. If you're on Twitter, get your questions in for the Jacked Ramsays mailbag pod tomorrow. I am posting it right now. Jacked Ramsays mailbag pod with @Brandon Sprague and I. Let the misery begin. Also, I spelled misery wrong. There you go. So, here's what I need you all to do. If you have questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, go to Twitter, on my Twitter account, reply to the tweet. Get your questions in, and we will record a long-form version of the mailbag pod tomorrow. We will kind of touch more on the Neil stuff, touch a little bit on tonight's game. If you don't have Twitter, jackedramsays@gmail.com. Let's go dive into the questions with Brandon too, just to get another, point of view, just so I'm not sitting here belaboring the point over and over again, saying the same things. So we will record tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. Get your questions in, like, rate, review, subscribe. Help us grow the show. I will post a community post tomorrow afternoon outlining how we're going to do the live watch party stuff. So if you are a member, first of all, thank you. More than one person signing up was like, cool, I'm awesome. I am swell. I cannot believe people really want to do this. This is awesome. Significantly more people signed up than that, and I cannot thank you all enough. That is just from the bottom of my heart. Truly, thank you. I appreciate it. It is awesome. Again, I will post that tomorrow. If you have questions, comments, concerns, email jackedramsays@gmail.com. On Twitter, @Danny Marang, @Jacked Ramsays, and of course, @Brandon Sprague. You guys have a wonderful night. Try not to let this ruin your weekend. I know when I was younger, that's me a ton, so don't. And we'll touch on a ton tomorrow afternoon. I'll drop it on Monday, and we will have basketball will be back. That's the great thing about the NBA 82 games is that even when you get your ass kicked, there's another one right in the corner where you can get your ass kicked again. Miguel says, why can't I subscribe from the app? I don't know. I'll tell you what. I will post a link in the chat. Give me 1 second. I will post it in here in just a second, but I will wrap us up here. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Not subscribe, but join the membership. There should be a shorthand link. I'll put a community. You know what? Here, I'll put a community post up after I get done with the podcast here. That way, it makes it easier for anybody else who wants to see it. I'm rambling on right now just because it's kind of a weird night. But you all have a good night. Talk soon, and